Are you new to a rowing machine? This session is for you. Feet in the footrests, sit on the slide, set the machine to a low or moderate resistance, and we will break down the movement to learn how to master the machine. We start in the back position, legs straight, shoulders placed behind hips, handle under chest, hands at end of handle, and we begin with arms only, stopping at back every time. Go. Arms only means exclusively using only the arms, specifically the upper limbs. The legs remain straight and steady, the shoulders stay slightly behind the hips, while keeping the back well braced and strong and firm, and we only use the arms for movement and control. Each time you bring the handle to your body, you need to exhale deliberately. You notice that we only use the arms, and at the same time we consistently stop in the back position. That's actually simply just the exercise. We break down the movement as much as we possibly can, and in order to successfully achieve this goal, we make use of stops. To maintain good posture, keep your shoulders down to avoid tension. Ensure your body stays relaxed to prevent stiffness, and keep your legs straight to support balance. In about 10 seconds, we will start rowing using both our arms and body in a coordinated manner to ensure proper technique and efficiency. Now this time, keep the legs always straight and engage the arms and back throughout the entire exercise. Breathing well? Very good indeed. Indeed. We always ensure that we consistently make sure to securely maintain our stop in the back position, which we indeed identify as a position of strength. Stopping allows us to take a bit more time to do our tasks in a detailed manner, and this breakdown of various movements helps us to properly learn the technique step by step. Stay focused and keep your legs completely straight. Always keep your heels firmly pressed against the foot bar. And the tips of your toes can pull slightly towards you to maintain proper pressure. In just a few more moments, we will be transitioning to the next slide, which is the quarter slide. Now, the quarter slide involves just a small part of the legs, specifically the lower part. We use the arms, the back, and just a small part of the legs, focusing on the calves, thighs, including the knees and ankles. We simply unclip the legs, and each time we stop in the back position. This way we take the time to do things properly, we take our time in our sequence, we break it down as much as possible, and that's how we really learn to use the rowing machine. Notice that my handle is positioned under the pectoral muscles, slightly below them. This placement is crucial for proper technique and effectiveness. My fingers are relaxed on the handle, and I hope yours are too. In 5 seconds, we'll start over, but without the stops, so we'll resume with arms only. Now, so for 1 minute we row using only the arms, for a total of just like we did earlier, and continue. But you see, we no longer stop. So now, we link the movements together. My handle stays quite flat. That means there is no variation like this with the handle on the return. It's useless on hammer. The shoulder line is flat as well. It is very low. And this handle, we place it right under the chest, while carefully ensuring to keep the legs straight and properly aligned. The shoulders positioned behind the pelvis and the body well braced. Breathe out well. You should start to feel it in your biceps. Of course, don't worry about your legs. We'll definitely work on them a little bit later. But one thing at a time. Firstly, we understand how to row. Next, then, we will move to arms and body. Now the arms and the back. So you see my back is moving slightly around the axis of my pelvis. Simply bring the shoulders approximately 5 to 10 centimeters slightly forward of the pelvis. As for the back position, which is crucial for proper alignment, it's measured to be 5 to 10 centimeters in front and 5 to 10 centimeters behind the reference point. The handle remains flat, legs straight, knees completely locked. Please do not make the mistake of having your legs slightly bent. There is absolutely no risk to your knees when your legs are in full extension, completely and safely. If someone once advised you to never straighten your legs against a wall, it's probably because they didn't really know how to properly row. Next, we will now proceed to the quarter slide. Now we will move to the quarter slide, which is the next step. A tiny bit of leg movement without the stops, and take the time to carefully reposition the arms and do it gently. Then the body and unclipping the legs. If you are behind me, it's probably because you are rowing with too much leg flexion. You are no longer at the quarter slide, but you are at the half slide, for example. Half slide means bending half of your legs. That's very good. Let's continue this movement, trying to be as fluid as possible. In approximately 10 seconds of time, we will row the boat at halfway slide with half of the legs, stopping at arms and body every single time. Now, half slide, arms and body stop, immediately afterwards, eventually. So, the arms and body stop, which means that the legs stay straight. Then the arms and back return to their original position, and after that, I bend the legs to complete the movement. This is indeed a very good breakdown of movements to learn body repositioning. Very often beginners row without using their back and shoulders. In other words, what this means is that the back remains straight and fixed because it cannot be moved at the right moment, resulting in its rigidity and lack of flexibility. And here we learn to use our body at the right moment, both when we pull and when we reset, when we come back forward. We move to 3/4, now 3/4 slide, and I will bend my legs a bit more, but I will always stop at arms and body, so arms and body stop every time. So here, the difference between what we just did and now the 3/4 slide is that my heels lift slightly off the foot stretcher. You can see it because I'm reaching for a bit more range. And it's absolutely perfectly normal, in fact, to lift your heels off the foot stretcher actually, depending on your build and flexibility. If there is a heel lift that actually rises, it is specifically designed for that purpose. It allows you to move into the forward position. I often read in the comments that you shouldn't lift your heels off the foot stretcher. That's absolutely false. However, bringing them back as soon as possible during the propulsion phase is okay. Now we row in length, arms and body stop. So just a minute, please, hold on. Just a little bit longer. Please, hold on. We row with full range of motion. So this time I come up to a vertical shin position. This is the normal rowing motion. I am going to fully and completely bend my legs. My shins will come to a vertical position. This is, in fact, the exercise movement with the most significant range. It's actually the one you'll do the most on your rowing machine indeed. Always observe a pause at the arms and body stop. This really allows you to break down the movement in a very analytical way and to learn the motion perfectly. In 5 seconds we will repeat this sequence but without stops. Now we are going to move to the half slide. So, half slide means halfway through with the legs. I want to clarify that when I say half slide, we will indeed bend about half of the legs, but we are not aiming to be precise to the centimeter. It's approximately speaking, essentially, roughly half of the legs You can gauge it yourself. Sometimes it will be a little centimeter further, a little centimeter less, but roughly we bend half of the legs. With more experience over time, you will gradually and steadily perfect and refine the control of your leg flexion in this detailed and comprehensive breakdown of the movement, understanding the nuances and intricacies of each step. Breathe out each time the handle reaches your body. Keep your head up. We will move to 3/4. Attention, this one. 3/4 slide, my heels are starting to slightly lift off the foot bar a bit. The range of motion, which is the extent to which a joint can move, is a bit larger than usual. On the other hand, my back repositioning happens at the right moment with straightened legs, when my legs remain straight as I reposition my arms and body. It's perfect. Keep the pace with me. Don't try to row faster. If you can't row with me, or if you think my pace is too slow, it means you're not breaking down your movement enough. It's that you still lack a bit more technical coordination and practice, but don't worry, you'll get it. To ensure better results, it is advisable to allocate additional time to the task at hand. We're definitely going for length now, watch out. This one length, carefully. We are definitely going to row with a full range of motion. Perfect. And so here, we absolutely don't pay attention to the pace. All right, we row with a full range of motion to ensure proper technique and maximize efficiency. That means we fully bend the legs in our rowing exercise. Make sure to reposition the arms first, then the back, and finally bend the legs. Perfect. If we row in this manner, by repositioning the arms first, then the back, and finally the legs, you will absolutely be able to row with a significantly greater, more highly effective, and incredibly meaningful range of motion, allowing you to give your absolute best without any issues. Now let's move to a pace of 22. We're going to increase the rhythm. This one. On my rower, the pace is noted at the top right corner of the display, so we have been rowing at relatively low paces so far. And just so you can experience slightly higher paces while still staying at low paces, I suggest you join me at a pace of 22 strokes per minute, which is a moderate pace. This will help you get a feel for a slightly faster pace without pushing yourself too hard. So the movement goes slightly quicker. But since we have learned the method to break it down, as we thoroughly learned at the very beginning of this sequence, it becomes quite easy and manageable for us. If that's not the case, it will come, which means you just need to repeat this session 2 or 3 times and you'll get there eventually. Remember that it requires persistence and patience over time, so keep practicing. All right, we are going to move to a pace of 24 strokes per minute now. So we are increasing the rhythm just a bit more. We will do 24 strokes per minute while maintaining our full range of motion at all times. By any chance, if you like this type of session very much indeed, I suggest you download my exclusive and special extended version, which is a complete 45-minute session on hammer rowing machine workouts, broken down in detail within description below this video, right here on YouTube itself. Just leave your email address there as well, and I will send out this exclusive, detailed, comprehensive, full-length 45-minute workout session directly straight into your inbox. Take a deep breath and then breathe out slowly and completely. That's exactly what we need. Perfect job. Just about approximately 10 more seconds, and we'll finish this training with a sequence at a pace of 26 strokes per minute. Maintain the range of motion. Pace 26. Add 2 strokes. Take your time to row properly in the right direction. We're doing great. Well done. So of course the 26 is much faster in pace. The heart rate increases, and this way you experience the full range of motion at a higher pace. And in order to manage to do this correctly and effectively with the right technique, you need to successfully repeat the initial training blocks that we did in the session. Go! Of course you can. Do this training as many times as you want. Repeat it again, because it is through repetition that you will learn and succeed in improving your technique. Breaking down the movement and going through these stopping phases that I suggested to you, rear stop, arms and body stop, are mandatory to master the gesture on the rower. And then we can increase the pace as much as we want, since we'll have a great technique and can exert ourselves properly. So if you definitely want more, a 45-minute session awaits you in the description below this video. See you next time. Until lace up your shoes, turn on the screen and row.